is the James Bond thing true? Because
yes, yeah, it got down to me and Daniel Craig, apparently. This is what I'm told. I mean, it's made from my agent being very, very nice to me. But, yeah.
Because you would have been incredibly young, wouldn't you?
Yes, they wanted to go either sort of more traditional age, like Daniel was, or a very young age, because Casino Royale was the first book. And so they were considering going very young. But obviously, I was too young.
They asked me to audition for James Bond once.
Did they?
Yeah.
Which version was that?
It was like back in 2000. We'd just done Gladiator, and they said, would Ridley and I like to take on the franchise, you know?
Wow.
And so I said, yes, as long as there's one line I have to say in the movie, right? And that's when it all started to fall apart. Because I just thought it'd be funny if you opened the movie with a Scottish accent, right? So everybody goes, oh, you tosser, you're like doing a Sean Connery impersonation. How terrible is that? And then in the next scene, he's like talking an Italian accent. And then there's a shot in Australia, and he's on a beach. And a woman comes up and says, what's your name? And he says, Bondi. James. It's a good gag. They wouldn't buy it.
It's a precious franchise. But talking of these movies like this, you've been in interviews, you have said publicly that you would never do a superhero movie. So what changed?
I've said that so many times.
And now you're in one.
Yeah, but they didn't ask me to be the dude.
Oh, OK.
You know, it wasn't like, you know, be the such-and-such man, you know? It's like, be such-and-such man's dad, you know? Which is different. And the question in front of this character, in terms of what he has to sacrifice as a father, was interesting, you know? And now, you know, I have a 6-year-old and a 9-year-old. So I have to be honest, that definitely came into play when I was making the decision.
What, so they could see the movie?
So they could see one movie that I did, finally. They've actually been able to go to a cinema and see it. I mean, Gladiator, people get their heads chopped off, and, you know, other things are, you know, way too violent, Les Miserables, you have the prostitution things and blah, 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 you know. So they haven't actually been able to sit down and see a film of mine, but now they have.
And have they seen this yet?
Yeah, and I'm hardly in the movie, so they're like, what's all the big deal?
Which one were you?
Well, now, listen, this version of Superman, obviously, it's very modern, because you talk about being a dad. Superman has 2 dads, and you are a bio-dad.
Biological father.
Clearly. And we've got a clip here. This is the pivotal scene where you are making that sacrifice. And as you were saying, you are a dad of 2. But you had to deal with, like, a lot of baby experience in this film.
So I managed to have 2 kids of my own, and I'm a dab hand with a nappy, but I've never been hit by friendly fire. But on that film set...
Because how many babies did you have?
4. We had 4 babies to make up the Superman character. It was a very, very hot set, because, as you know, because you've seen it, suddenly there's a lot of light in there, you know? So it was a very hot set. And... I've got the baby stretched out like that. He's naked, right? So when the first one started to piss, it's very unsafe, this thing here. Now he's slippery, right?
Yeah.
So the only thing I could do was like, come here, little mate. Oh, my God. Right, one costume ruined, right? The next one, he didn't do anything, but there was a lot of air involved. You know? So every time you're about to say, you know, something about the sacrifice of my son, and anyway, and the third baby, he was the one that it was a full evacuation. Full and absolute evacuation, like down my arm, just like, you know. And the thing is, I love babies. I love being with babies, so that was fun. But then they brought the 4th baby out, and that baby had 3 legs. And I said to the director, I said, this one's Superman.
Now, children everywhere rejoice, because with new Superman film comes new merchandise. And this hasn't been seen in this country. This is an exclusive here. This is you, as Jor-El. Russell, that's beautiful, isn't it? Really nicely detailed. And now, it has...
Whose beard's that, though? Yeah. that's not how my beard looks.
It really isn't.
Captain Birdseye.
I thought it was Kenny Rogers' beard, actually.
There's a whiff of Kenny about it.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks a little bit like you, but it's beautiful in the detail, and, you know... Beautiful. That's a bit like found material, but the rest is lovely.
Yeah, and luckily for me, you can't get those undies off, can you, Graham?
No, I really can't. I've tried.
I bet you. I thought...
You're all afternoon. It's lovely. It's very nice. It's very nice, Russell. And Henry has an action figure as well. Yes, he does.
Oh, no.
It's just here.
You heard it here first. Mine is officially bigger than Russell's.
Like, that's ridiculous.
Actually, why don't we have it sitting next to us on the seat? There you go.
What a baby.
Actually, you know, Graham, I bought you a present.
Oh, do you know
This is my rugby league team in Australia, the South Sydney Rabbitohs. They've been around since 1908, but this is... where are you? Oh, there it is. Hello. Where's the old-fashioned red light, boys?
It's hidden, but it's that one. Number 3. That one there, yeah.
Right, the red light's on the blink on that one. Get it fixed. Yeah, so this is the new generation with the gold lame rabbit, so I thought you'd like the gold lame
you're
rabbit.
for a new
so there you go.
target. Yeah, target market. Thank you very much. I'll pop it on and do that.
All right. Just throw it up, of course. You got
Is that what you do?
Yeah,
Is that?
Both hands.
Mocking me. Right, now, Russell, talk about Oscars, and you've been nominated many times, but obviously you won for Gladiator. Now, when you were working with Ridley Scott, it sounds like you contributed a lot to, like, particularly Gladiator, the script and stuff, that a lot of it was you. Is that true, or...?
I mean, we started shooting that film with, I believe, about 21 pages that we had agreed on. So after 10 days, we had nothing left to shoot. So, and I would never, ever recommend that you make a movie that way. It's just the way Ridley likes to make a movie. You know, Ridley likes to sort of, like, feel it as he's doing it, and you know, he'll get to a point where the character goes, I need a moment for this character that gives me that. You know, so then he'll go and hunt down what that's going to be.
And didn't you just chuck in your old school motto and things?
Yeah, well, that's where Strength and Honour came from. My school motto was Veritate et Virtute. Truth and virtue, right? So I said to Ridley, I want the character to say something like that, you know? When he greets soldiers from his regiment and stuff, you know, he should say that when he's leaving them. You know, that's his sort of thing, you know? So... and I said, I want him to say, Forza Aeonorum. And Ridley goes... What does that mean? I said, it means strength and honour. He goes, say that.
So was that Sydney Boys High?
Sydney Boys High, yeah.
Sydney Boys High. Now, you weren't quite as good as Fat Cavill at school. You were good. We heard about your fluidity and control and everything, yeah. And then you grew. It's all happy now. But you smoked as a schoolboy.
I did. See, my dad ran pubs, you know, so I was in an environment of smoke-filled rooms from a very young age. So this terrible habit has stuck with me, but I was committed to it even as a young guy in high school, you know, but I couldn't afford, like, packets of cigarettes at the time, you know. So I used to take 2 cigarettes to school, 3 matches, and a piece of flint off the matchbox, right? So I'd put the cigarettes in my sock, and I'd have the flint and the matches in the pocket of my trousers. And at that stage, you know, we had to wear suits at school, and their linings were always made of nylon, right? And I was sitting in music class. I was sitting in music class one day, and we were doing something, I don't know, tate-tate with the rhythms or whatever, and I ended up banging my leg, and went... and I melted the inside of my nylon lining right all around my bits and pieces. That was a very uncomfortable thing for about 3 weeks.
Do you still have pieces down there?
I do. They didn't burn off altogether. just the first foot. Just let him do the dick jokes, brother.
No, they're pieces of nylon.
Oh, nylon.
Like when you... Never mind.
Yeah.
No, we can move off of that.
I wasn't wearing nylons. That came later. That came later when I was doing the Rocky Horror Show.
Now, we established you liked the Twitter, and on Twitter there was a thing about your costume in Les Miserables.
Yeah.
There's this picture of you in costume.
Oh.
Do you know the Twitter, the thing I mean?
Yeah, a guy sent it to me, and I thought it was so funny, I retweeted it.
Yeah, was it a German fan or something?
I think so.
Yeah, he basically, he saw a similarity between this and... It's good.
So I retweeted that, right?
Yeah.
And then Britney Spears tweets me and says, yeah, let's get together and, like, do a song. And I was like, this is a joke, love.
Did she think you'd dress up as a tribute act?
I think
You were
so.
touring Australia.
Yeah, what she said to do a toxic song, work song mashup or something. I didn't know what it meant.
God
But
bless
I
her.
would
Yeah.
really love
It
to
was
see
lovely
you
that
do
she got
like
in
that
touch.
choreography from like Hit Me Baby one more time. You'd be very good at that.
Let's have a talk after. I think I've got my costume somewhere.
Now, Amy Adams, 4 times nominated for Oscars. All
Yes,
very good
sir.
with Junebug, Doubt, The Fight with the Master. Love them, but nothing for Enchanted. Which seems great, because that was such an amazing performance in Enchanted. They're not ever nothing.
Thank you. Thank you.
And a bit, I suppose, like Henry. So Henry's now Superman, but to an awful lot of children.